welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Rage, and this is Mono Black Stompy with Contamination as a juke in the sideboard. This deck had quite a journey. Rage and I had a coaching session where he is preparing for an upcoming event, and he brought me basically a Pox deck that had 4 Contaminations in the main. Let's read Contamination together. 2 and a black. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this enchantment unless you sacrifice a creature. If a land is tapped for mana, it produces black instead of any other type and amount. Kind of an extra harsh black Blood Moon that requires some investment to keep around. And talking through the metagame, like as I do with all of my coaching clients who come to me for deck advice, I asked, what are your goals here? Do you want to have fun and contamination people? Do you want to win the most matches? Or do you want to find some sweet spot in between those two things? And he wanted the sweet spot in between the two things, which made me point out that the top 3 decks of the metagame are Reanimator, Entomb and Reanimate are both black cards, Oops All Spells, every land in their deck is black already, and Dimir Tempo, a deck that plays Nethergoyf, Barrowgoyf, Orcish Bowmaster as its primary win cons. And unlike Blood Moon, Contamination doesn't change the type of land, so they could still daze off of their Underground Sea that only taps for black. They could still pitch blue cards to Force of Will. The top 3 decks of the format are either not at all or barely affected by Contamination, so we had to make an adjustment. All 3 of those decks, however, are affected by Leyline of the Void. The original list was Contamination Pox in the main that juked into Helm combo out of the sideboard, so we decided to just make Helm combo the main deck and have Contamination lock in the sideboard. We've got Bitter Blossom to keep Contamination around forever. Orcish Bowmaster also does a good job keeping it around for a couple turns while you figure things out. And of course, we're just this powerful anti-graveyard Stompy combo deck in the main. Now that I've talked about this sideboard card for 2 minutes, let's talk about the actual deck we ended up on. Leyline Stompy. This deck has been around for a couple years now in various forms. Leyline of the Void and Dauthi Voidwalker mean that if a card would go to your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Helm of Obedience reads, X tap, target opponent mills a card, then repeats this process until a creature or X cards have been put into their graveyard this way. If you have a Leyline or Void effect in play, no cards will ever hit the graveyard this way. They go to exile. This is, if you pay X equals 1 and tap, their whole deck gets exiled. That's the combo, if you haven't seen it before. We've got 8 ways to enable it that also create splash damage against the top 3 decks of the format. We've got Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, and Chrome Mox, and Dark Ritual to accelerate mana. Karn, Liliana, Opposition Agent, Thoughtseize, just a disruptive, annoying Stompy deck that has a combo kill and passively is really good against the graveyard. And if we end up in any matchup that looks like it's going to take more than 3 turns, Contamination is in the sideboard. I would like this a lot against any sort of Beanstalk deck, or Nadu is probably quite good against. Certainly anyone trying to do like Cloud Post stuff, that's the dream. Karn the Great Creator, a core function of the deck that gets us our last Helm of Obedience. It's a win con by itself, it's disrupted by itself, and we have the One Ring and Ensnaring Bridge and Disruptor Flute as some things to get. Typically in a deck like this, the Karn package is much more robust, but we cut basically 6 artifacts to make room for this Contamination juke out of the sideboard. Let's get into it. Powerful main deck, fun sideboard. I hope to do both in this league. Announcing the Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy Winamax weekend in Columbus, Ohio. Saturday, August 2nd, the BCDL Legacy Open 4, a Mox Jet for first and dual lands for top 8 guaranteed, with more duels and staples added down to 24th place if the event gets 100 players. Sunday, August 3rd, Stronghold Mox Diamond for first, dual lands for top 4, and Force of Wills for top 8 guaranteed, with prizes scaling up at 48 and 55 players. Both events are unlimited proxy playtest card friendly. Anyone can play. Please review the playtest card policy on the event pages. Signups and additional details are linked in the video description or included in a full post in my YouTube community tab. I'll be there. I hope to see you too. I am on the draw in round 1. I have a turn 3 Goldfish win, reveal Leyline, Ancient Tomb, cast Helm. If I find a Chrome Mox along the way, it happens a turn sooner. If I find a black source of any kind, I can do other stuff instead. I will keep this, and I will put Helm or Leyline into play and hope my opponent concedes immediately. That is the dream. They didn't concede immediately. Okay, Windswept Teeth. Not the land we're looking for. Bayou. Zenith. Okay, looks like a little Cradle Control. They do have White of the Reliquary that cares about the size of their graveyard. I guess this could be Maverick that's making a bit of a resurgence. No, it's Cradle Control. Talon Gates. Did not phase out their Dried Arbor. Cowards. Yeah, Chrome Mox is the best draw in my deck right now. I would really like to win the game right now, instead of giving them another turn to figure things out. I would even take Swamp, like if I could pick off this Dryad Arbor. I think I'm actually going to play City of Traders and pass, because having the Helm in my hand makes me weak to Thoughtseize. Having it in play lets them know that Zenithing for Collector Oof is something I care a lot about. But if I sandbag it and do it all at once, that's a game I can win. Basically, play around Thoughtseize versus play around Green Sun Zenith is the question being asked. If they're dialed into Legacy, like if they've ever seen this deck before, they know that I probably do have an artifact I want to cast. Right, Scavenging Ooze, I do not care about. Sylvan Safekeeper, I do not care about. All right, looks like we're going to win, unless they main deck Force of Vigor for some reason. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll play Urborg. Helm. Sometimes it just be like that. Okay, Cradle Control is a deck that cares a little bit about Contamination. Plague Engineer plays here as well. How many Contaminations do I want? I kind of want to just speedrun them, though Leyline of the Void doesn't actually affect their plan or life that much. Voidwalker. I like Thoughtseize. I like Removal. I have Dothy Voidwalkers. Karn can still grab Helm if I do kind of a large juke here. The Bitter Blossoms have to come in with the Contaminations. That's how you keep it in play forever. You have to sack a creature every turn, and here you make a creature every turn. So they know about Collector Oof being a good card to grab, but I can make that less true than it was. Opposition Agent, phenomenal versus their deck. One more cut if I want everything. And maybe I should cave in a City of Traders with... I'm boarding out all my Helms. Okay, I'll try this. Karn is how I win with Helm now. It's just Dothy Voidwalker to enable it. And I have the beatdown plan, and I'm going to try to contaminate them. This is a deck with mana dorks. I have to deal with those somehow. All right, I'll keep this hand. It's a fast Karn. Turn 1 Bitter Blossom if I want it. Karakas, Giver of Ruins. Oh, you were Maverick all along. All right, it's not Cradle Control. So I actually kind of prefer this situation. All right, Chrome Mox pitching Fell the Profane. I'm going to play this turn 1 Bitter Blossom. Gaming. Yeah, they did a good job hiding the third color in game 1. Maybe the Scavenging Ooze gave it away. Oh my god. Oh my god. Rage, buddy. Check this shit out. Bang. Do they have Force of Vigor? Do they have Blackguards to cast? We're in there. Okay, you're up. This Giver of Runes can attack me for damage in the meantime. I do have to do something. Ancient Tomb now taps for black, though it does also still hurt me to do that. What a mess. Oh, they have a black card to cast. Plague Engineer, oh no! Hoisted. Alright, well, Contamination's dead, and now I just pivot onto Karn Gaming, and I lose a life every turn. We were living the dream. Okay. Well, I lose a life for no reason every turn. Another Bitter Blossom. Fun. I can pitch that to Chrome Mox. That is about as good as that's going to get. I can... Oh, this is actually super shitty. So I can get Ensnaring Bridge this turn while I'm Hellbent and get Lattice next turn. But Lattice actually... I will eventually lose to my Bitter Blossom. All right. I'm still getting Ensnaring Bridge. We got to shut this down somewhere. Yep, grab the bridge. Okay. Well, any removal spell kills me, and my Bitter Blossom and Ancient Tomb might kill me even if they don't have anything. Bayou, there's the green mana that represents Zenith, that represents Outland Liberator. Okay, they wastelanded me, that's fine. Sylvan Library, okay. Not the worst. As I bleed out. That's the funniest part of all this to me. Another contamination means Giver of Runes can attack. I might just have to play this, even though it doesn't do anything. Karn. It's probably just the One Ring, and try to make something happen here. I do have some removal in my deck. My life total will be at 8, and the Bitter Blossom plus One Ring combo is pretty rough. Okay, I'll get Liquid Metal Coating. I'll play that, and I have to get my hand empty, so I'll play the Contamination as well. This is a turn of only black mana for them. I'm going to coat the Caracas, because that's the land that does something other than tap for mana, in case that matters. Plague Engineer, they got me so good. Why is that even in? Like, what did they see that would encourage them to have this card? The Bitter Blossom was in the sideboard. It was unknown. Oh, maybe Orcish Bowmaster is a big enough problem that you just play this card. Or maybe they were in the Matrix and knew about the Contamination. You fell the Profane. Interesting. I can Liquid Metal Coating the Giver of Runes. Fascinating. Okay. Liquid Metal Coating targeting Giver of Runes. I'm going to do this right now. Okay. Its activated abilities cannot be activated. I'm going to fell the Profane on Plague Engineer. Oh, I overtapped for that. I'm still playing like Contaminations in play. It's not. I still would have had to tap Ancient Tomb. Ooh, oh no. Did I need to plus Karn first? Are they going to Bowmaster to kill my Karn right now and unlock? That would be so embarrassing. I had every tool to play around that. Oh, Veil of Summer. That sucks too. Shit. I'm so dead. Okay, I'm going to animate nothing and pass. I think I'm going to board out these Bitter Blossoms knowing that Plague Engineer is a card they have access to. Because my main deck just doesn't care about it. Great content, though. Shout out to my opponent for making this game happen instead of just dying on turn 3. Okay, Force of Vigor confirmed, and we are just dead. Alright, don't need to keep playing from here. Force of Vigor and Veil of Summer are cards they have. Well, sorry, Contamination and Bitter Blossom. You saw me try and get completely cooked for it. I actually drew 2 of each that game, 2 Contaminations and 2 Bitter Blossoms. They are Maverick, not Cradle Control. Does that change my interest in Plague Engineer? I would like City of Traders back in. Yeah, I guess I just go straight back to the main deck. We're juking, team. Okay, I will keep. I have Leyline plus Helm. I have Thoughtseize. I am weak to Wasteland, but my deck has a lot of mana in it. Opponent mulled to 6. And I am going to lead on Urborg, even though they are a 3-color deck and it might help them. Alright, so we've got Veil of Summer, Fiend Artisan, Orcish Bowmaster, Grist, Zenith. I think it's actually Zenith. Sucks I turned this forest on for them, though. That is the thing I was worried about doing. Yeah, Zenith, or no, I'm going to take Veil, because if they Zenith, I have the Bowmaster to cook their life. Alright, I'm going to take Veil. There's their Bayou, their basic Bayou. Zenith. Chrome Mox, what's up? I don't think that's better than just playing Fel the Profane as a land. Felmire. And the cool thing about this is normally you really don't want to Bowmaster into someone else's Bowmaster because the second one usually wins, but I'm not a card draw deck. Just Strip Mine is great here. And speaking of Strip Mine, they're holding up Bowmaster. Oh, wow. Does that matter? I don't think that card is good. That's not what the game is going to be about. I'm just going to deploy this Voidwalker before they get to do anything else. Then I'll hold Liliana as a mana source. I'm not going to attack because then they get to clear my whole Bowmaster with just their Orc army. Bowmaster kills my Bowmaster, Orc army in play. And once again, because of my Urborg, they can cast Fiend Artisan. I think Dark Ritual is the card I want the most here. Okay, they are continuing to play spells instead of Wasteland me. That is good. Not in good shape otherwise. Karn, oh no. Well, my whole situation sucks here. If I attack them with Orc Army, they'll trade their Orc Army for it. I think I'd rather have a blocker back, but Dothy Voidwalker is getting in. There's nothing in the Void yet. I can't hit a land drop out of the Void. But that might be part of this game. Fiend Artisan, their next land, Fiend Artisan can get Collector Oof, which I'm not happy about. They're getting a 1-drop. Probably some Mana Dork. Oh, I guess trading Orc Army would have Made Fiend Artisan worse. Yeah, I should have attacked with that. My life total is not my problem here, but their resources are loose. Loosey-goosey. There's Noble Hierarch. I'll still take a Dark Ritual deck. Ancient Tomb. That works too. Okay. Chrome Mox. Exile Lily. They have Force of Vigor now is not the best time to use it. Oh, I have 2 Voidwalkers. I don't care. If they Force of Vigor, then I keep the Liliana in hand. Okay, sweet. Yeah, having the Dothy lets me continue gaming here. They pitched Grist to that. And now I have a Force of Vigor in the Void. If that's somehow useful, I will not exile. I will, however... Do I want Liliana? Or Karn? I think I want to minus Liliana. They're doing Fiend Artisan stuff. Sack a creature. Anything they sack goes into the Void. But the Void is very valuable to me. Okay, they sacked Bowmaster. So I could Voidwalker the Bowmaster out and just take it slow here. Like if I play their Bowmaster, kill their Noble Hierarch, and attack, that makes Helm worse, but I think I'm winning on other metrics. Alright, yeah, I'm going to play that Bowmaster. Kill Noble Hierarch. Or that will grow Fiend Artisan now. I'm out of Voids. Do I care about that? Fiend Artisan versus Hierarch. Alright, I will kill Hierarch. That reduces both things to sack to Fiend Artisan and mana they have. But I'm going to leave Orc Army back instead of attacking to trade with Fiend Artisan if they attack. This might be me doing my thing where I just try to be a control player when it's not right. But that did feel really good. The Juka Bog, that's fine. I don't use my graveyard. Multiple Karns running here. I guess I'll plus Liliana first and discard Helm, because Karn can grab Helm, and Helm isn't doing anything right now. Swords of Plowshare is gone. Karn in. I'm going to grab Liquid Metal Coating. I think that's right. Yeah, Liquid Metal Coating and start being disruptive to them next turn. I have Liliana plussing and Liquid Metal Coating killing their lands. They've got 2 cards in hand. I got a backup Karn if I need it. Wasteland does not take me off the mana I need here. Walrus Stronghold. Okay. They can get their Noble Hierarch back. Plague Engineer on Orc. Okay. That makes Fiend Artisan 3/3 and my Orc Army 1/1. They are Hellbent. Yeah, I'm going to chump block here. And then I'll minus Liliana and start blowing up their lands next turn. That does kill Karn, but I have another one. Their Wasteland might be really good, though. Okay. This Fiend Artisan doing work. Just need a removal spell and we're out. Or backup Ancient Tomb, you know, we take those. What is still in my sideboard? I could just Ensnaring Bridge here. That gives them a window to Zenith for Collector Oof. But Liliana is still in play. Sticking the One Ring does not really help at all. I could animate it as a creature and just block for a turn. Yeah, I think it's kill Plague Engineer with Liliana, start killing their lands, let Karn die, and then next turn grab a second Karn and take over. Alright, sack a creature. Coding. I'm going to kill their Forest. Boop that. Fiend Artisan is 4/4, but I'll have Karn on 6 loyalty next turn. And if they don't play a card, I could have Karn get Ensnaring Bridge and just set up for 2 turns out. Do I care about Walrus Stronghold in this environment? Ooh, Dothy Voidwalker. So if they've Stronghold something back, the the Fiend Artisan does get smaller. Alright, it's Karn. I'm going to target the Walrus Stronghold. They're deciding if they want Orcish Bowmaster or not right now. Or maybe Noble Hierarch. Like, Hierarch is a mana source that deals an extra damage to Karn. Yeah, the way this game has played out, the Fiend Artisan being unlocked into exactly the right size every turn, I am somewhat regretting not just going for the Helm when I had it. But if I didn't do that, they would have had Collector Roof in play. So yeah, I don't know. We're still playing. They're fetching in response. They've decided they want a creature. And they did decide on Bowmaster, okay. I guess that also damages Karn. But Karn gets one more wish before it's gone. I could set back up. I could grab a Helm from my sideboard here, play Voidwalker, and set up a multi-turn line here. I just spent like a million resources getting back to the exact spot that I was in several turns ago. What is the correct sequence here? I think it's They would need a mana to get Collector Roof, but if they do get Collector Roof, I'm cooked. If they don't, if I kill a land, Karn just dies. All right, Karn, you're back in, buddy. Here we go. We're getting set up. I need them not to draw a land or removal spell of any kind. Helm of Obedience, Swamp, play Helm, 3, 4, 5 damage on board. All right, please just draw like Noble Hierarch or a Force of Vigor you can't cast. Some 3-drop. Plague Engineer, that's the card in your hand. I'm calling it now. Orcish Bowmaster I don't care about. Thoughtseize would suck, but with the Helm in play, I do still have 5 voids I could draw, and I can hardcast a Leyline and activate Helm. Okay, just attacking with the Bowmasters, which means they still plan to activate Fiend Artisan this turn. I can turn one of their things into an artifact, but it doesn't matter. All right, so here's the Collector Roof. That's why they thought so long. They, all right, now Collector Roof will turn off their Savannah. Scoreboard, loser. They were thinking whether just besaging the Helm or activating Fiend Artisan would be better, and they came to the right conclusion. All right, removal spell. Or Barrogoyf. No, not that. They have 6 damage in play that I cannot block. And I can't even just like silly goose activate Helm, try to hit a blocker because it doesn't work. Fiend Artisan, hell of a card. And just hitting like Barrogoyf here. Removal spell or Barrogoyf are the things I'm interested in. Now Giver of Runes means Barrogoyf doesn't even matter. They can attack for lethal next turn, in spite of it. Okay, Fell the Profane, shoot the Sheriff. Yeah, here they all are. What's in the void from earlier? Force of Vigor. That does not kill Collector Roof. And it would unlock my Helm to not be a lethal play. Come on, deck. No! Alright. Okay, I thought I could control them. Turned out I could not. Fiend Artisan, just too good. It was the perfect size every turn as well. If it was just like 1-1 on a turn, it could have been, it was 2-2. I think we're fine. Or like 3-3 on the turn, it was 4-4. I think I could have predicted that with better play. All right, maybe get out of my control brain and just send the stupid thing if I have the stupid thing. That's the lesson here. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. I have a Leyline and turn 1 Voidwalker. I'll keep. This hand isn't going anywhere fast. If Voidwalker doesn't do 20, don't really have a plan. But if I draw Helm at any point, I have 5 mana to fire it. Force pitching Show and Tell. Okay, so we're playing against Show and Tell. That was actually fine. Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. Oh, are we getting shown right back? The double Show and Tell Force Hand. Oh, Scroll Rack. Opponent is gaming. I'm here for it. Alright, I will just play Dothy Voidwalker then. The way that Leyline and Voidwalker work is not the way you want. They both create a replacement effect that would exile the card if it would go to the graveyard, and the owner of the affected object chooses what order replacement effects are applied, so things end up in the regular exile zone, not in the void, as long as your opponent has a brain in their skull. And I think Magic Online just automatically does it the way that is correct for the affected player. Okay, they scroll racked. Doesn't tell me how many cards they use. That's weird. Oh no. All right, drawn some bricks. It looks like Karn has a bunch of additional text versus my opponent. My Urborg is saving them a bunch of damage off these Ancient Tombs. My Urborg has betrayed me more than it's helped me in this league so far. Scroll Rack is dope though. What's that doing in a Show and Tell deck? Is it just a way to make sure Omniscience wins when it wins? Is there Urza Saga? Is this some sort of hybrid? Do they have Helm of Obedience? That would be so funny. Something's happening. Oh, it's Sneak Attack. Well, we're probably dead. But they don't have red mana. Yet. Oh, right. I was about to say, and if they sneak in something like Atraxa and I shoot it, and then it's in the void where I can play it, but that's not actually how it works because of the thing I just said about Leyline of the Void. All right, they're taking big swings here. Do they have a monster? Is it a monster that is a sheriff? All right, it's a monster that's not a sheriff. So we're dead. I guess we have to play it out, but it doesn't feel good. I had a couple turns there to do something, find Karn, find a threat, find a discard spell, find obviously Helm being the best of them. Right, I will pass the turn. I'm not going to try to shoot a sheriff at the expense of the cards in my hand. Now Ancient Tomb hurts you, dummy. Brainstorm. Shouldn't have killed my Urborg. Oh no, my Urborg's back. I will not be playing that. Doesn't matter. And I don't want them having... I mean, they have mana. All right, I'll play Urborg. It's fine. Now I can shoot a sheriff. Thundering Falls. Dumped an island. I mean, they are at 8. If I just draw a Barrogoyf, an Oppo agent, something that has power and toughness, a Bowmaster. They're scroll racking 1 card. We're in a desperate scramble here. Okay, didn't hit. Come on, Barrogoyf. Something that does anything. Fell the Profane. Okay. Well, I can cast that, so... But I already have Shoot the Sheriff. All right, I'm not going to Chrome Mox yet. All right, Karn's good. Karn can get Disruptor Flute and turn off Sneak Attack and Scroll Rack passively. Here I am punished for playing the City of Traders last turn. Scroll Rack for 3 is pretty strong. Okay, Sneak Attack. What do we got? Atraxa. That's a cop. I suspect the 10 cards they flip will contain another monster if they don't already have a counterspell. All right, Force Pitching Omniscience. Show me more cards. All right, a bunch more counterspells and cantrips. Okay. Sneak and Show with Scroll Rack in it. Disruptor Flute comes in. Shoot the Sheriff comes out. And I think that's the only change I'm making. I already have my Thoughtseizes in. Yeah, just drawing air that game. Like, even after getting hit with Emrakul, we had, I think, 3 or 4 turns where a card turns it around. I don't think I'm going to try to contaminate this opponent. Okay. Okay, this hand looks like my last hand, but it's better. I'll keep it. I have a second thing to do. Leyline of the Void is in play. Swamp. I'm going to pitch the Voidwalker for Disruptor Flute. This looks like Bowmaster. And if you're playing Show and Tell out here in the world, I suspect you probably know about Disruptor Flute. City of Traders. Lotus Petal. I'm going to Flute naming Show and Tell in response here. This is the last opportunity I have to do this before it's too late. Vesuvian Drifter. Uh-oh. All right, well, Randomonium begins now. Okay, Drifter triggers every combat. What this card is, it's been a while since we had to talk about this one. Look at the top card of your library anytime. Beginning of each combat, you can reveal a card. If it's a creature, this becomes that. That explains the Scroll Rack. We figured it out. Not a fetch land. I thought we had a moment. Please cast Intuition. Fuck. All right. Are we randomly dead? No. All right. Randomly taking 2. Non-randomly taking 2. I have seen Daze in their deck, so I'm not going to play this Oppo. And using a fetch land is something you'd probably want to do. Oh, Barrogoyf. That is a 0/1. Okay. I'm going to pass and try to use Oppo instead of whatever's going on here. The dirty trick here is that sniping a fetch land doesn't even matter. They still get a shuffle. I don't need a land. All right, Behold. All right, playing around Daze was right. There's a Fury in hand. Thundering Falls is useful to me. I can take that. What's in this deck? We've got 2 Emrakuls, 3 Atraxas, 2 Archons, 1 Omniscience, 1 Scroll Rack. All right, I'm taking your Thundering Falls and hope you don't hit a monster. They're still winning the damage race. Drifter's drifting. Helm is good for me. Thundering Falls, trigger, Liliana. I will take that. If I can start working through the Drifters, that's not bad. They only need 1 to kill me, but if the game goes longer than that, it's good news. My Urborg once again helping them. Oh, but they like to fetch, but that's not a mistake. They don't need lands, they need a monster on top of the deck. I'll take a Volcanic Island. Okay, I have cost them 2 lands, but they are still currently winning. Drifter's drifting. I'll play their Volcanic Island, my Xander's Lounge, and Liliana. Barrogoyf still does not have power and toughness because of Leyline. Or it has toughness, it doesn't have any power. But if they attack and kill Liliana, Barrogoyf could start doing stuff. What do we say? There were 2 Emrakuls, 3 Atraxas, 2 Archons. That's a 7 outer. I'm fading the 7 outer every turn. City of Traders. Decline. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay, they are taking out Liliana. This gives Barrogoyf 1 power. That's enough to make the race interesting and start milling over stuff. I got other creatures in the deck. Ooh, there's that card as well. All right, I'm going to attack first. Use Barrogoyf. I guess I should have played Helm first because if they counter it, Barrogoyf hits harder. All right. Maybe I missed a damage here, or maybe I win the game. All right, shit, missed a damage. Okay. That actually did matter. That changes the clock by a turn. If they hit me this turn, it's the same, but if they don't, I actually just cost myself potentially the game. When we're in a spot where every card revealed matters. Okay, they're on defense now. I like that. Ooh, there's not an instant in my graveyard. This actually changes the clock. Okay, I have enough mana. I think I do just want to push the extra damage through here. And milled a bunch of stuff that's not a creature. Goyf is 5/6 now. I have a lethal attack next turn. Last chance. Fade that 7 outer. Hell yeah. Pew pew pew. Alright, opponents saw a lot more to my deck that time. Vesuvian Drifters are in. Those are sheriffs. They're cops. Is there anything worse than that in my deck? In Leyline of the Void is not actually very good against their deck, but it is, my combo enabler. I think I'd rather have some sheriffs around. I still have 6 voids to my 7 helms. Karn can wish for a helm. It can't wish for a void. Maybe I cut a helm here. Here I go again, trying to be a control deck. But it feels right at the time. This hand does not do anything I need it to. This is a turn 2 Karn. I think I mulligan this. I'd really like Thoughtseize. Okay, I mean, this is pretty in on my first play, but I don't hate it. Liliana is pretty disruptive to both of us. Basically, I just have to decide which of these animals I don't want. I think Barrogoyf is the least likely to high roll a game and win it for me. Opponent kept a 0 lander. All right, Dark Ritual. Yeah, they have to have Force of Will, or else nothing makes sense. All right, Force Pitching Fluster. This City of Traders was basically the nut draw, because now I can just do what I want to do next turn. Petal. Petal. I hope they just put in Emrakul. All right, I can't cast Liliana, so that doesn't matter. All right, well, Show and Tell. Should I put in Voidwalker or Oppo? Bowmaster will not help against any monster. Oh, if it's Archon of Cruelty, it doesn't matter. I guess I'll put in Oppo. It's Atraxa. All right. Crash. Nice. Okay, so Chrome Mox or Dark Ritual are my good draws. They did not find a counterspell, and they are starting from Hellbent, so we're working on full information here. Ancient Tomb, Stock Up, Archon, Flute, Crash. Those are the 5 cards in their hand. Come on, Chrome Mox, Dark Ritual. Another Oppo. The bonus Oppo. The second one doesn't do much. Okay, Black Source off the top, and we can be playing the game. Ancient Tomb. Traxa has Vig and Lifelink. The race does not favor me here. They did not play any cards. End step, I'm going to Orcish Bowmaster. Oh yeah, just leaving up Disruptor Flute. Checkmates Liliana. Please name something other than Liliana. Shieldred's Edict. Alright, not a card in my deck. We dodged that. I just need to draw some source of black mana, and we're in shape. Just a Swamp, an Urborg, a Dark Ritual, a Chrome Mox. Thoughtseize is not the one. Alright, so I'm going to Thoughtseize their Stock Up here. Yeah, Stock Up is still the take, even though they're showing me Force of Will, but they don't have a blue card to go with it. I have to roll dice here, no matter what. Okay, here we go. Don't draw a blue card. Don't draw a Show and Tell. That's what I need from you. And for those of you who have already yelled at me in the comments, you can't put Planeswalkers in off Show and Tell. Well, moment of truth. Did they draw a blue card? They did not. All right, sacrifice your creature. Okay, so the beats begin. They are a Show and Tell away from crushing me, but Oppo, it does brick some of their lands. This Crash does not have any targets right now. This destroys target artifact, and you can sack a mountain instead of paying its mana cost. Or they could destroy their Disruptor Flute if they really wanted to. I personally wouldn't make that play, but they're in charge of their own destiny. And this is cool because Voidwalker plus Liliana puts things into the void. where I get to use them. All right, force pitching Brainstorm. Fair enough. Plus Liliana. I'm going to lose this Oppo. They're going to lose their Crash. Oh, they found an Emrakul. All right. Emrakul's gone. And that's why they forced the Voidwalker. I would have had an Emrakul in my hand otherwise. With Liliana on 2, I don't even lose outright to a Archon. There goes the Crash. And we just got to beat these last 14 points down before they figure it out. Petal. What is this shit? Oh, Sneak Attack. So they're going to rely on top deck monster here. Each player discards a card. There goes their Archon. Karn. I am going to wish for Disruptor Flute. Or no, yeah. I'm a mana short of... Oh, Disruptor Flute's from my deck. Tough beats. I guess I grab Ensnaring Bridge then here. Or is it Helm? Oh, Liquid Metal Coating could take them off red. All right, I'm going to take Coating and hope that they don't draw a creature literally right now. Here's the activate. It might be a troll. It's not a troll. All right, whatever. Okay, on to the next game.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3, and my hand is quite good. I just have to decide what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably just going to Thoughtseize first, and then I can map out how I'm going to do the rest of my things. Bonus on 7. And like a turn 1 Oppo could just be GG against a lot of opponents. I think I'm going to go for the safety Thoughtseize, though, because Oops All Spells doesn't care about Opposition Agent. Demigod of Revenge. Man, we are in the zone today. We've got a Lake of the Dead over there. That is sacrifice a swamp, add 4 black. Okay, I think I'm taking Force of Will. Sweet League, though. Maverick, Scroll Rack, Show and Tell with Vesuvian Drifter, and Demigod of Revenge. Presumably Intuition is in their deck. Underground Sea. Well, Liliana's not very good against them. I gotta say it. Karn also not very good. They actually have Demigod next turn if they want it. Like the... Or no, you have to sack a swamp to get this into play, and then it costs 4, this costs 5. So I have 1 turn to do stuff. The second Demigod is very good. Like, if I play Liliana, they're going to discard Demigod. I might just have to ram Karn out here, but they could Petty Theft it. Dark Ritual betraying me. One of the cards we cut from the sideboard to make room for the contaminations from normal Black Stompy decks is Vault of Whispers, and it's actually... This is a spot where Vault of Whispers would let me confidently deploy Karn and then have 3 mana up for the rest of the game. That's a note for Rage if you're considering how many slots you want to put into this business. I could just put Ensnaring Bridge in my hand. All right, I'm casting Karn. KGC. And I'm going to grab Ensnaring Bridge and hope for the best. Okay, Brainstorm is the card I didn't know about, which now means I don't know about any other cards. I could get Mycosynth Lattice, or not Lattice, Liquid Metal Coating. But knowing that they have Petty Theft means that's not reliable. I could get Disruptor Flute and name Demigod of Revenge. I think I just want to put Ensnaring Bridge in my hand. And that puts them in a spot where if they Petty Theft Karn, that Petty Theft is gone for the bridge that they now know is going to show up at some point. Looted Delta. Oh my god. Come on, deck. Let's draw a land. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are they going to crack this? All right, Karn is going to get Disruptor Flute. Or should I start coding? I'm going to get coding and pass, which is suspicious, but I'm trying to spike here. Not playing either of the cards that they know is in my hand here should be a giant red flag that I have Opposition Agent. And unfortunately, my Urborg, once again, makes it so they don't even need to fetch to do everything they want to do here. Marsh Flats. Lots of fetch lands over there. All right, well, I'm not going to not spend mana. Here's Oppo. Crack your fetches in response. Or don't. They're swamps anyway. Undercity Sewer. That's probably just got brainstormed away. And they did not use the Marsh Flats. Hopefully they forget. Okay, liquid metal coating. Start here. Coat your Underground Sea. They're floating a blue. All right, I will move into combat. Or should I play City of Traders first? Yeah, I'll move into combat. Because if they think I can't replay Karn, that would be great. Or that doesn't matter. What am I even talking about? Petty theft doesn't matter here at all. All right. Confused myself. Still getting it done. Melting my own brain. City of Traders in Ensnaring Bridge. I should be able to keep their demigods at bay while keeping my Oppos live here. While I kill all their lands and eventually them. Sewer. They did not brainstorm that away. It was still in the hand all along. They might have brainstormed away demigod and they're not trying to hardcast it. Like they might have been looking for an intuition, but if they are an intuition deck, opposition agent is problems. Yeah, they just dumped an intuition. Surprise. Surprise, I'm not surprised. Coat this Undercity Sewer. Loaded a blue. Bang it. Petty thefting the Ensnaring Bridge. It's time. They're making their move. Attack for 3, and I'll replay Ensnaring Bridge. If they save that for a spot where they have Force Blue card, that's at least a 2-for-1. All right, here we go. They can cast a demigod here, which can attack and kill Karn, and then Liliana can minus on the demigod, which makes the next demigod terrifying. Oh, we're just doing this instead. Clues don't work with Karn in play. Oh, they can do both. Fun. It's demigod time. Yeah, demigod has a cast trigger. When you cast Demigod of Revenge, return all copies of Demigod Revenge from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a rookie mistake. If you counter that before its trigger resolves, it will return itself to the battlefield. All right, so they got attack Karn here. Nothing else makes any sense. Now they do have a 5-power creature. My Urborg once again making this game plan possible for them. Shout out Urborg, you sack of crap. Oppo agent attack. They did not block, cowards. Liliana will eat probably Tameo, but I drew the second one. We can work through these creatures and hope they don't have another demigod. If they sack the demigod and not the Tameo, then they probably have another one. But they only have one card in hand, so that's not that likely. All right, cool. I'm going to turn their Lake of the Dead into an artifact. Got him. Maybe they'll forget Karn's gone and not tap it for mana. They're going face, ignoring Liliana. Dothy Voidwalker, hello. Interesting. I don't have enough. I don't have the right colors to cast Voidwalker and Bowmaster this turn. Right, I'm going to plus Liliana. I'll start there. I don't think I need a second Oppo. They lost Thoughtseize. I think I would rather just get this demigod out of play. I would have liked that in Exile, but, you know, here we are. Their hand would have to be land demigod for this to be the wrong play. And they're dead next turn if it's anything else. Okay, I can deploy my whole hand and then plus Liliana. Bowmaster you. Float Colorless, play Ancient Tomb. Oh no, I needed black. God damn it. I thought I was being clever. Yeah, I just had my lands completely wrong. Dumbass. Alright, I still have to plus this. That was a disaster. Oh my god. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Wow, they discarded Fatal Push, which did have a target, which means their hand probably actually is Demigod. If, like, what card would you protect over? In this Ponder we saw earlier, but they haven't cast it. They might have brainstormed that away. Alright, I just tapping my lands wrong. Never punished. It's fine. I'd like to see another card in your deck before you concede. Another Demigod. I was right. Your opponents are always telling you what's in their hand, if you pay attention. Okay, other than that last turn, felt pretty good about that one. This is a deck that wins with swamps, and they care about their graveyard. So this is not a sideboard juke situation. They actually didn't show me a single card that makes me not like the main deck. They're basically just blue-black Reanimator, but weirder. Contamination does change the color and amount, so Lake of the Dead would only tap for 1 black, but that juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze when I have all this other stuff going on. This is a turn 2 Karn, but I think we can do better. We've seen Thoughtseize and Force of Will out of their deck. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm going to keep this bottom of Voidwalker and hope they don't Thoughtseize my Chrome Mox. There we go. They got 6 cards. Tamiyo, you got it. Ancient Tomb for the win. Thoughtseize, I'll take it. Okay, Chrome Mox exiles one of these Voidwalkers. Thoughtseize ya. Force Pitching Brazen Borrower on Thoughtseize. Okay. What are you protecting over there? Tamiyo, cluing out. Does everyone else still pick up their pen in Paper Magic when Tamiyo attacks you? I still do. I'm not going to lie. This card's been out for a year. I don't think Bowmaster is worth it here. That's just not my angle on this game, and Dark Ritual's too precious. I can present a win if I draw any 2-mana land. My hand starts dropping if I find a Mox or Swamp or Borg, just anything. We did it. Okay. Now I think I am interested in Orcish Bowmaster. I could fire out the Helm, let it float and play a turn, and activate it next turn, but because I have other things to do with my mana, I'd rather make them respect some little stuff. Here comes Tamiyo. If they have a land, they can flip Tamiyo here, but Bowmaster will be pretty big. Voidwalker. Oh no. That's what I do. This is an outrage. Okay, Bowmasters. 1 to you. Fatal Push. That's fine. They have a Bowmaster in the Void now. I just need a mana source to attempt to win. All right, here we go. This is a bad one if they have Force of Will, but I win if they don't. I guess it's not even that bad if they have Force. I just play Voidwalker, and they're Hellbent, and I'm hitting for more. Okay, I would rather just win the game, though. Sweet. All right, we're on the board. Beat one of the blue-black Reanimator. I mean, it's a weird variant, but the theory of the main deck held up here. On to the next round.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the play in round 4. We've been doing pretty good on die rolls here. I'm going to keep this hand. It doesn't send like crazy, but it does disrupt like crazy. Okay, we've got a Bowmaster, Force of Will, Brainstorm, Tassiger. Man, every opponent this league has been awesome. Shout out every one of you. You're all great. I'm going to take Brainstorm. What a delightful and honorable league we've been playing. No weird freaks. Only good freaks. There's the Sewer. Kept their card. Ancient Tomb. Another opponent who Urborg helps, but not as bad as in previous rounds. I think I'm just going to take Tassiger here. That is the scariest card in their hand, and the way things have unfolded, it is showing up quickly. Shame I didn't have a Leyline. Just brick this 6-drop in their hand. Bayou? Oh no. The flood is real. It's happening. They didn't Bowmaster me. Basic Island. Shoot the Sheriff. Bowmaster is in fact a cop. Hedge Maze. Yeah, I thought seizing my opponent and seeing a hand with 4 non-fetch lands in it when Oppo was my follow-up, not ideal. And now I feel like pretty unlikely to win. 2 minutes early, I got bangers in my deck. Now they're hardcasting Force of Will. Okay. This is at least something. It is half of my combo, or it flushes out that force that we know about. Either way, I'm okay with it. And I can still cast Oppo. Thanks, Urborg. B-Storm. Up the Beanstalk. Sweet. I guess that explains the Tassiger. We're extra dead now. I was already dead. Now we're extra dead. Fell the Profane. All right. I have a mighty wall of removal. If they ever draw a fetch land, what if they just don't play fetch lands? They're the legacy player that decided fetch lands are overrated, and they just have like 17 actual lands in their deck. A fetch land. Good news, everyone. Okay, double oppo. Now my fetch land might actually the fetch land might even work. Like stopping the fetch land might work. But again, they don't have to fetch because our Borg's in play, and they already have thousands of mana. Another bean. My plan is to deck them. Though, in all seriousness, Leyline of the Void is quite good versus these decks because they use cards like Murktide Regent to do the thing. Right now I have a lot of stuff I can do. Unfortunately, I know they're holding a Bowmaster already. Oh, we've got more colors. Contamination's definitely coming in. Thoughtseize, let's break the wall down. Bang. Hardcast Force of Will. I think I'm going to respond with Dark Ritual and just try to get something going over the top of this. Okay. Opposition Agent is on the stack. They're fetching in response. Dark Ritual. Opposition Agent. If this fetch resolves, I get to see their hand. Swords to Plowshares. Disappointing. Okay. Alright, well, the fetch will resolve. Yeah, unfortunately, I know about this Orcish Bowmaster in their hand, which means my Bowmaster, being the second one, is not going to be highly successful. I also can't play my Bowmaster and shoot the Sheriff right now. Okay. I am determined not to lose my Bowmaster for nothing to their Bowmaster. Another Plow. That's a bunch of Plow spent on Oppos that mostly don't matter. Bonder. Thoughtseize. Well, I guess my Bowmaster will be the second one then. They can't have it for free. You can take one of my 2 shitty removal spells, and I'm just trying to draw a Helm of Obedience and sneak out of here. The Bowmaster's dead. Another Leyline. I'm going to kill their Orcish Bowmaster, and their life total's lower than mine. I'll attack with the Orc. Alright, that's fine. That was going to kill that Orc no matter what. They're down to 2 cards in hand, and they're about to draw another one. Helm of Obedience. Big swings from the top rope. Even something like Barrowgoyf gives me a lot of play here. Oh, come on, deck. This deck does have a lot of shitty cards in it when you're not doing everything. The beats come in. A fetch land rubbing in. Ugh. Alright, I'll pass. I have enough mana to Karn, get Helm, and activate it. Are there even lands left to get? Jetmir's Garden, okay. That means, I mean, not that I had any doubt, but Leyline Binding is definitely a card in their deck. Uro, fun. Just drawing a card off of that. Straight into the void with you. Come on, deck, banger. I'm going to hold on to that. I'm actually going to play the 3rd Leyline. And I'm going to hold on to this Thoughtseize, because if I draw Helm or Karn, Thoughtseize to start the chain is exactly what I need here to beat these 4 cards in their hand. Though my life total is now at a spot where I don't know if I can Thoughtseize and cast Ancient Tomb, or tap Ancient Tomb very many times. All right, here we go. Did it happen? Is it gonna work? They're hardcasting Force, it seems, which draws 2 cards. And I simply have to hope that none of those remaining cards are Force of Will. Helm. Removal doesn't matter here. It has to be a counter. Oh my god. Zapia. They have to kill all 3 Leylines. Oh yeah! Normal stuff. Okay, I think Bitter Blossom might actually just be good against this deck, even without Contamination. But they're also a 4-color deck. I'm going to try to contaminate someone here. Thoughtseize is great. Liliana might be mid. Opposition Agent kind of mid. I do like some amount of Leylines, like the Voidwalkers. We know they have Tasigur, Uro. There are reasons to want that sort of thing. I'll go -1 Helm here. I still have access to 2 in the main plus the Karns. 6 Voids, 6 Helms. Fair enough. Here we go. The juke is back in. My hand is quite good. I'm just gonna keep and enjoy the bounties. Flooded Strand. Ponder. You got it. Shuffled that Ponder. Fell the Profane. Happy to see that. That's just more mana. That gives me a lot more options. I could Dark Ritual, Voidwalker, Thoughtseize. Or I could Thoughtseize, Chrome Mox, Dark Ritual, something else out. I'm going to go for the Ritual. Voidwalker. I'm doing it in this order, so I get the card in the Void. Wowee, look at all these cards. Is it Plow or Beanstalk? I think it's Plow, actually. I am not thinking about those beans. Oh my god, yeah, if you cycle Lorien Reveal, that's in the Void for me. Just Ancestral Recall into the Void. Free money. Ponder. Okay, Ponder off the top. Prioritizing Ponder over sticking Beanstalk. And that is not the land we saw in their hand. So they drew Ponder, pondered into that, and then fetched Bayou, and we still have perfect info. Bitter Bee. I could stick Bitter Blossom, or I could ram out Barrowgoyf. I think I just want to Barrowgoyf them. Chrome Mox pitching, Bitter Blossom, play Fell the Profane as my land. Sorry, Bitter Blossom. You have multiple functions, and this is one of them. I took the Plow on the beatdown plan. Brainstorm. A lot of stuff in the void already. Plow, Ponder, Misty, Brainstorm. And if they cast this Rakshas's Bargain, I get whatever they dump, plus the bargain itself. And Bitter Blossom activates my brain, I'm not gonna lie. Even just like seeing it under a Chrome Mox, I'm like, wow. What a time it was. I hated this card when I played Standard. I didn't actually try Fairies until Standard rotated into Extended. And then Fairies was one of the best extended decks. And I was like, wait, why was I playing 5-color control the entire time this card was legal in Standard? This Fairy deck is busted. Okay, we've got a fetch. We know they have Bowmaster or Beanstalk they could play. And then there's one unknown card in the hand. They might just have to start treading water versus this Barrowgoyf with the Bowmaster. Ooh. I shot the Sheriff. The Voidwalker has Shadow, so I don't need to be worried about losing that in combat. Okay, we chew that up. And there's not a lot of targets for this, so I'm just going to shoot this Sheriff right now. Because of the lands they fetch, they can't actually play Rakshas's Bargain here. Ooh, you're on Barrowgoyf. Shit, that got me real good, actually. My Sheriff. Karn. What does Karn do? I have a Plow in the void. I could attack, see if they want to trade. Or no, I should just Plow it and then attack. That's so much better than the first thing I said. All right. We're going into the void. Plow this Barrowgoyf. Wow, Force of Will. That's a good card. It seems like they want to trade. The Force pitched Lorien. The Bowmaster was used, so these two cards left. Am I willing to take a hit from Barrowgoyf? Probably not. I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack and then second main play Karn. Like, either they trade this or I mill 4 and we see what's going on under there. Okay, that's handled. Karn. We know their whole hand right now. I'm going to get the Liquid Metal Coating and start blowing up their lands. Okay, so up the Beanstalk. Ponder. Okay. Ponder finding Force of Will would actually be a powerful sequence here. They shuffled the library. Did not play up the Beanstalk. What is going on over there? Oh my god. All right, well, here we go. Liquid Metal Coating. I'm going to try to take you off green. What's the play? Orcish Bowmaster. That does not meaningfully change my life here. I think Karn's under some pressure, but they got bigger problems than I do right now. Ponder. Just a removal spell or a blocker completely locks up the game. Otherwise, we're going to have to beat this Bowmaster versus an opponent with one land in play. Oh my god! All right, so I lose Karn, but we get the other combo instead. Bitter Blossom, Contamination in hand. Bitter Blossom also just beats the Bowmaster. All right, Karn dies. I'm at 21 life. Basic Plains. That looks like it casts spells, except it doesn't. Wow, that card's good too. All right. I am taking a turn off contaminating, or should I just contaminate? Yeah, I should contaminate. That's so much better. Because I can play Bowmaster. Like, what I would be worried about is if they kill my fairies, contamination dies, but Bowmaster has Splash, so that's not actually a concern. Opponent said, I thought you were one of the good guys. Absolutely not. Not today. We did it. Rage. Here we go. I don't think this opponent's going to have... Oh, okay. They do have that one. I don't think they're going to have Plague Engineer, though. All right, so we got a little work to do here, but we are in shape to do it. Force of Will in their hand would be pretty annoying. I will say that. Okay, a land. We know everything we need to know. They're tapping their planes just to see if it makes white. It does not. Sorry to tell you. Okay, put Contamination under Bitter Blossom. And then sacrifice the Fairy Rogue. Draw for turn. Bowmaster. Destroy your Bowmaster. I'm not hiding anything. Here's the swamp. Okay, here we go. Maybe I could have waited for combat to eat their other Bowmaster, but if they're not attacking, I don't care. They are attacking. All right. Trade off with this one. I'm going to have to deal with a 2/2 at some point, but I have a bunch of life total to do that with. All right, we are contaminated. I could also just opt out of Contamination if I want to. I will not be blocking here. Just need to draw any card that does anything before I take 12 damage. If fetch lands still work, this is not Blood Moon. Kept a card on top. What card could you possibly want? It has to be Bowmaster. Bowmaster or Force of Will. Those are the cards that might actually want here. Basic Plains doesn't cast Rakshas's Bargain. I think I will let this ride one more turn, but I might be out of Contamination sooner than later. Oh god, another one. Well, now it's an easy decision to sacrifice the first one. I can reestablish the lock. Who knew? A 2/2. Just so good. This also, though, makes 2-for-2 opponents who, even in several color decks, have deployed a black card after my Contamination. That just hoses me. All right, I'm gonna ride it another turn. That's not it. I think I have to block this turn. Well, this sucks. But if I go to 4, right, I am going to block and keep the Contamination. That's how I'm deciding to do this. I think my best chance is to keep them squeezed and just draw any card that does anything. Okay, that might do something. Did they keep a Force of Will on top when they surveilled that one time? That would make a lot of sense if true. Yep, okay. So I am at 2 right now between the attack and the Bitter Blossom. All right, I'm going to keep Contamination around because if they start bargaining, I can't win. I am dead, though, if I brick. I think I'm dead anyway. All right. I'm going to give myself one more turn to draw a card that impacts this situation. That's not it. Style points. Maybe they'll force this. We did it. Clarion Conqueror revealed. That's good to know about. All right, so serious conversation here. That is 2 opponents who I actually got in the lock and who just beat the lock by casting black cards, even in cards where black is not the main color, or decks where that's not the main color. I was like Bell the Profane, Barrowgoyf, Orcish Bowmaster. In earlier Dothy Voidwalker would have done it. Karn, even Oppo trades with that thing, and then we're ahead. The life loss from Bitter Blossom has been pretty serious as well. Like, these were all live draws in that situation. But like I said, they can still cast black cards and they can still Force of Will, which is the concern about trying to do this sort of thing. Which we knew in theory, like I said it in the deck tech, but seeing it actually play out that way multiple times is tough. All right, what do I do here? My Plague Engineers can beat their Bowmasters, but I don't care about Bowmaster unless we're exactly in the spot where I have successfully contaminated them. I think I'm actually going to shave 2 contaminations, or shave 1. Like, maybe 3 is just too many to even have it all in the deck. Now it's still an option. I'm less likely to draw a second one, and I get an extra real tool in here. So Plague Engineer on Orc matters. Leyline of the Void matters. Liliana the Veil matters. Oppo Agent is kind of a tough sell. I don't think it's Leyline. Oppo, Liliana, Plague Engineer are what I'm looking at here. I think it's Plague Engineer. We've seen Barrowgoyf. That was this opponent that played Barrowgoyf, right? Yeah, we've seen Barrowgoyf and Orc. Like, this has Death Touch and it kills the Orcs. I'll do that. Okay, I'm gonna keep this, and I can just like play some Bitter Blossoms and see how that stacks up in modern day Magic the Gathering. Wish the deck accelerated mana, of course, or had Thoughtseize, but can't always have it all. Undercity Sewer, Voidwalker. That is slower, but better than Bitter Blossom. I could cast Double Blossom next to him off Ancient Tomb. I can't do that with Voidwalker. Force Pitching Ponder. All right, they really don't want to play against that card. I respect it. Brainstorm. I do have to be aware of my life total. My opponent is not a deck that really brings the ruckus the way like a Delver or Nethergoyf or Broadside Bombardier deck would. But if I Double Blossom and I tap Ancient Tomb to cast spells throughout the game, that could backfire. But I believe it is my plan right now to play 2 Bitter Blossoms, unless I draw something cooler. Jetmir's Garden. Leyline of the Void. That's not it. Okay. Bitter Blossom. I hope they force this. Coward. All right, here we go. 2 Blossoms is a steady stream of 1/1 flying creatures enough to beat a control deck in 2025. That is a cop. I can shoot it. Oppo agent, a little late to the party. All right. Shoot the sheriff with my extra mana kicking around. I don't like running my bowmaster into their bowmaster, but I don't like wasting mana that I paid life to get either. Okay, there's bowmaster. 0 surprises. And brainstorm. Now we'll see what double bitter blossom looks like in the modern era. Oh, they let me untap with that fetch land uncracked. I like that. Okay, Urborg might help them, but it also helps me more because I have this Ancient Tomb and double bitter blossom cooking me right now. All right, they are just blocking off with their blocker. Uh-oh. Bam, bam, bam. Emergency, emergency. Gotta love Oppo Agent. Right, Clarion Conqueror and Swords of Plowshares are the cards in their hand. I would like their Hedge Maze. Clarion Conqueror is big. I don't really care about Swords to Plowshares. Okay, I go to 10 here. Hedge Maze. Dump Dark Ritual. Play Leyline of the Void. And attack with everything. Attacking with everything every turn is how I win this game. This is the only thing I'm going to be doing. Choosing to chump Oppo rather than trade with it. And Bitter Blossom can function as force field. Normally with Bitter Blossom, if you're blocking, you're losing. If they choose to attack, I will have to do some math. Okay, so if I go to 7, I go to 5, I'm just going to block. I have 2 of these things. Force field activated. And drawing a real card would be nice, but that's the point of Bitter Blossom. It can carry a game by itself. Everything in. They have a Bowmaster that will trade with Oppo, kill a fairy, and trade with Oppo, or they could just chump a bunch. Or they still have the plow. All right, plowing Oppo is fine. That gains me life, precious life points, as my opponent bleeds out to the Bitter Blossoms. Okay, I think I will trade with Bowmaster. They could start Leyline binding my Blossoms. That's like a thing they could have. Roxas's Bargain. Okay, this will put 2 cards into exile and 2 cards into their hand. Bayou Brainstorm dumped. No land developed. Come on, real card. Something that does anything. That's pretty freaking good, actually. Right, attack with my fairies. That can attack. And I'm going to hold the Bowmaster this time. I would like it to be a surprise. Okay, block. If they have a Bowmaster and they try to ambush my fairy in combat, that's something I can take advantage of. Tassiger the Golden Fang. Let's go. Mill 2 cards, return on cards. Okay, so if Tassiger ever triggers, then, or ever gets activated, I have to give them Barrogoyf. That's fine. Chrome Mox, no thanks. I am holding strong on this Bowmaster. I'm winning the race without it. And if they do need to rip at some point, I would like to punish it. Okay, they can activate Tassiger and get Barrogoyf into their hand, but that won't do anything. Oof! Alright. Well, Pernicious Deed's quite good. That was a sick card to be hiding this whole time. My fairies are gone. I still win this race, though, at 1 life. If they don't have Swords to Plowshares. Alright, put you to 1. Jump Tassiger, attack for 1. Okay, block Tassiger, so I don't die. If they have Plow, I go to 4, and I get 2 more fairies, and then I'm treading water, and I'm losing. Leyline Binding is the same as Plow, except I'm not... Uh-oh. Plowing your own Tassiger instead, letting me die to my Blossom, you sick fuck. Alright, I like it. Alright, Helm of Obedience off the top for the win. No! Okay, well, it seems like, just maybe, Bitter Blossom is not a card for 2025 Legacy. Though it did take Pernicious Deed to get us here. Alright, dead to Bitter Blossom. It's been a long time since that happened to me. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in the final round. The die rolls have been going well for me, even if the games have not. I'll keep this. It's a Stompy hand. I'm here for it. I think I'd like to just rip off a turn 1 Oppo and see what happens. It's been a long time since that worked for me, or since I've gotten to do this. If this is like Oops All Spells, they won't care, and the Dothy Voidwalker would have killed them outright. But if there were anyone trying to play normal Magic, this is probably better. Like if they're trying to Zenith with this. Okay, looks like they're not trying to do anything of the sort. Karn. I like that one. Okay. Karn. I'm going to get the liquid metal coating. Do I want that? I could get Helm and just sprint to the end game because I have a Void in my hand. All right, I'm going to do that. I will not attack because I would like to block and protect Karn. Unfortunately, the Leyline I have is soft to Swords of Plowshares, but they did just use one on something else. Karn's taking one. Savannah. Zenith. We would have got him. Another Helm. Okay, once again, I don't have the correct sequence of 4 mana to cast the 2 cards that I have. I think I'm just going to cast Helm of Obedience, and I'm going to animate it as a 4/4 blocker. If they have Swords to Plowshares, like, Plow would blow out my Helm line on Dothy anyway, and now I have a second Helm. Scythecat Cub. That is 2 energy, 1 more energy, and they can kill Karn, but that's not really what I'm worried about. That's a 2/3. They can make it 3/4 with a fetch. Dumped Wooded Foothills. 3/4 creature. My Helm's still ruling the roost here. Heck yeah. And they didn't plow the Helm. Oh, come on, deck. Once again, if there was a Vault of Whispers in my sideboard, that would let me Thoughtseize, then Voidwalker, then win. Okay, the creature no longer has Summoning Sickness, so I can animate this and then just chill. I think they would have killed Karn if they had Plow last turn. I just don't think they have it. All right, here we go. Voidwalker. Activate. We did it. Okay. Okay, non-blue deck. I think I just need to focus on comboing here. I will probably not Plague Engineer. They are a creature deck. They're also a Zenith deck. Like, I like my removal. I like my Oppos. I like my Lilies. Yeah, I actually just like every card in the deck. Like, even Barrowgoyf is better than Plague Engineer versus a lot of this stuff. Bowmaster is the one that I might consider otherwise. Yeah, Bowmaster might be worse than Plague Engineer. Obviously, cutting a 2-drop for a 3-drop is always, you have changed what the deck can do at what time. But I do think Plague Engineer will be higher impact in this matchup than that card. Okay, Thoughtseize removal Barrowgoyf. That is the exact opposite of the combo that I hit them with last game. Once Upon a Time. And if they lead on something like Ocelot Pride or Dryad Arbor, I do have Chrome Mox plus land to Bowmaster it. Ocelot Pride. My goodness. Do you think they're proud of that play? Okay, Urborg is nice. That lets me pitch Fel the Profane and keep all the real spells. And Bowmaster, I'm just going to kill this thing. It has first strike. There's no combat trick to be had here. Just kill it. Make it dead. And then I can Thoughtseize plus Barrowgoyf next turn. All right, now I can't do those things. I can just Barrowgoyf or just Thoughtseize. If I shoot this Sheriff, then I can Thoughtseize. Yeah, that works. All right. Shoot this Sheriff. Thoughtseize you. Or I could play Barrowgoyf and not Thoughtseize. I think I'd rather wait. Guide of Souls, Scythecat Cup. I'd rather you have Guide of Souls if you only have one of those things. Well, we might see the rarely seen Urborg and Yavimaya in play at the same time. All lands are Bayou, plus anything else they do. Windswept Heath, Guide of Souls, Oppo. Wow. That actually changes what I want to do. This fetch land being in play, like, they probably want to dig for something here, a Surveil land to try to smooth out the shitty hand they have. Look at that. Look at that. Get another look at their hand, see what they drew in between. Static Prison is what they drew. Do I want their Dryad Arbor or their Lush Portico? I think I want the Dryad Arbor. No, my deck's really good, like full of high impact cards. Either one kills my City of Traders. I'll take Lush Portico. All right, Static Prison in the grip. Hopefully they fire that off on Oppo. Every land is Bayou. We did it. Achievement unlocked. Okay, they've held on to the Static Prison. Ooh, Helm of Obedience. All right, I'm going to attack with Oppo. Ooh, we drew a Swords to Plowshares. That's fine. Okay. I think I'm going to put Helm of Obedience into play here and then play the Lush Portico. They could Static Prison the Helm, but that's fine because I'm actually more interested in Barrowgoyf. Plague Engineer. I don't think I want that. Green, black. Another collector of shit. Well, I've been punished. Punished as hard as possible here. Okay, well. I played correctly. They just had Collector Roof. I'll take it. Windswept Heath. That does work. I've taken their Surveil land, but they do still have Dried Arbor as tech lands go. So a removal spell is good. A land is good. There's the Static Prison. They've got 4 energy, so this game's probably not going to go that long. They still can't attack. Or they could attack, but it would reduce how long they can hide the other thing. Okay, so they are going for the buff. Okay. Land for Barrogoyf. That's not very good. But, I mean, I've got a story to tell here, and it's attack. They know I just drew Bowmaster. Nothing else makes any sense. Okay. I cannot play this Chrome Mox. Voidwalker will come back next turn unless they play a creature this turn, which they did. At least it's a creature that dies to Bowmaster. This 4-power flying creature is doing a lot, though. All right, I'll just kill Ocelot Pride and move on with life. Come on, land. Come on, removal spell. We did it. And I don't get Voidwalker back next turn because they had a creature. All right. But they probably can't draw a creature and a removal spell in one card. And there are creatures that are also removal spells. But good chance I either end up with Voidwalker or Barrogoyf, if not both, on this turn cycle. Okay. Another 4 damage flying over. And it is my turn. I'm going to attack for 6. Does this deck have Felia in it? I'm just trying to think of cards that I have to think about here. Like creatures with flash that might do something. All right, the Guide of Souls is gone. And I've gained a bunch of life. I'll take it. And I get my Voidwalker back here. They would need some kind of really big play to turn it around from here. I'm just doing better than them at the thing their deck does. And they can't afford to block with Collector Roof because they are dead on board to my tricks. Here comes everybody. Barrogoyf's a 5. That hit another Voidwalker. City of Traders can come in. Okay, they're super freaking dead. Once upon a time. Dig, dig, dig. What do you got for 2 mana that can save you? Scythecat Cub is not it. And we did it. Okay, let's debrief this deck because Rage actually does have a tournament coming up. First of all, we just got to say, Contamination. I got the lock in twice, and both times my opponent just cast a black card that beat me and made Bitter Blossom into a giant liability that I ended up dying to. That didn't feel good. There's a lot of passive life gain and bigger creatures in the format right now. Even that control game where we just had double Bitter Blossom on turn 2, they were able to have more creatures than me and reduce my life total faster than I could with theirs. Liliana had a few moments where she was cool. This was another special from Rage that he wanted to include in the deck instead of the 4th Barrogoyf, and I forget what the other card we caught was, but Black 1 is very different than Black 2. As far as casting these, there were several games where Liliana was in my hand when I had like Swamp Ancient Tomb as mana, and I just needed to draw Black Source to deploy her where Barrogoyf would have already been in play. However, Barrogoyf does not kill Atraxa Grand Unifier, which Liliana of the Veil did do in this league. That's something to think about, just this effect versus the mana cost. The deck is otherwise mostly built to play functionally off of 1 black or even monocolorless, and this card is asking you to have double black. So is Dothi Voidwalker. So it's not like we introduced this cost entirely to the archetype, but we did exacerbate it a little bit. Also, Vault of Whispers. There were at least 2 spots where specifically Karn grabbing a land from the sideboard would have been a huge deal, and I was not able to do that. I think at minimum here, if I was just dead set on playing Contamination because I love it, and that's fine. Like, your goal in Magic doesn't have to be to win the tournament every time. You can want to do things your way, and that's fine. But even if you do really want to play Contamination, I think changing one of them into Vault of Whispers, 2 Contaminations I think is enough. And then you have that 1 extra piece in your card board. You have probably the ultimately correct number of Contaminations, and you could still do this thing if you still want to. Rage, thank you for sending this in. I hope this is helpful for your event. Everybody, thanks for watching. This ended up being a really cool league. We were playing a cool deck, and we played against 5 cool decks. I had a lot of fun doing this. Everybody, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel on this video. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.